Hey there! Through the years, I've been getting occasional requests to bring my sound design to VST synths. I'm excited to say I've started working on it and am making pretty good progress building my own VST synths. And while I've been working on that, I realized that the effects stage I built for a synth would make a really good standalone effects plugin. So introducing Luscious, a plugin that combines a synth high-pass filter, a modulation effect with which you can do chorus, flange, and vibrato, and the main attraction, a chaotic space echo-inspired tape-style delay. These effects have been designed to sound lush, organic, and full of character. The thought was that this is a plugin you could throw on any synth to bring it to life, but of course you can use it on guitar, drums, voice, or anything for that matter. This plugin is still in development. Being my first VST, I just needed to get it out there and get some feedback before I start to finalize it. So please download it, try it out, and then come back and let me know what you think. Alright, so let me demonstrate how it sounds, and then I'll walk through and explain all the features in detail. Alright, so I'm going to quickly walk through all of the features. First off, there's some things just aren't exposed. So there's a fairly slow high frequency limiter. So it'll let through transients, but as soon as you have like a constant sound, it'll start tapering down the high frequency energy if there's just a lot of it. So it should still, your sounds should still sound warm without sounding like grating and harsh. Well, that's the idea at least. So the high pass filter is pretty basic. It just sweeps. It cuts off the low frequency, and the Q, that's just resonance. And this little reading right here just tells you the hertz of the cutoff frequency. So yeah, you might like use this to focus the bass presence in like a certain region. Like cut out the sub frequencies that your listeners' speakers maybe don't support, and emphasize the bass in like a little higher frequency that still sounds super bassy. Or just to like not clutter the frequencies that maybe like another track has. So that's what you would use this for, or just creatively, I guess. All right, modulation. So with the modulation, you can do vibrato, chorus, and flange, and basically with the mix at 100, you have the 100% of the modulated signal, which is just a vibrato. So if you activate link, it links the depth of the left and right speaker together. So whatever you set the left to, the right will be the same, will be set to that. So there we go. There we have our vibrato. And if you set the rate to something lower, you get like a wow. Like a warped record or an aged cassette or VHS. And so if you mix the vibrato signal 50-50 with the dry signal, that's how you would get flange and chorus effects. So the only difference is that a flange, you have a low amount of depth. And so you can hear like the high frequencies going like. And so if you increase the depth, then you get chorus. And if you want like a Juno style chorus, the rate is pretty low, and maybe the depth is shy of the middle. And you would flip the flip button here. That flips the phase of the vibrato for the right speaker. And so while the left speaker is going up in pitch, the right one's going down in pitch, and vice versa. And so that creates like the classic stereo chorus sound. And one feature of the modulation is that the modulated signal has like the high frequencies cut down a bit, and that gives you more of that Juno style sound. And I'm actually thinking about maybe making that switchable, because for the flange it's kind of nice to have the high frequencies in there. So that's maybe a change I'll be doing. And another feature is I have like a slow gate on the modulated signal. And so usually with like a chorus, because the way a chorus works, or the vibrato works and all of it works, is it's a delay that's being sped up and slowed down. And so when it's at the furthest point from real time, you can sometimes hear on a chorus like this flam effect, where you hear the dry signal and then you hear the modulated signal afterwards. And so if you have like a really transient sound, you could sometimes hear like this flam. You'd hear it like come twice, the pra pra. So that gate eliminates that effect, and so that's just automatically in there. I'm thinking about making it switchable or configurable. I don't know. I want to make the plugin not like overbearing, or like I don't want to make it like too complicated. I want to just make it intuitive and easy to use, and just kind of nicely tuned to just sound nice. And so I'm kind of struggling with what features to include and what to just make behind the scenes. But sometimes you don't want that gate on there, so I might maybe make it so the plugin makes some intelligent decisions for you, or make it an option. I don't know. Let me know what you think. All right. Now we're on to the echo, and the echo is my favorite thing in here. So the mix, I put a mix in here so that if you wanted, you could do a 100% wet and use this on a send. But if you're using it as an insert, you generally have it at 50-50 or lower. Input is how much of the signal gets sent into the echo. And feedback feeds it back for more loops. And as soon as you go like above this area, it just starts increasing it in more and more each loop. And so the way this works is that on each loop, it saturates it and colors the sound a bit. And there's quite a bit of nonlinearity and randomness in how it does it. And so it just kind of gives it this lively sound. Time is just, it goes from half a second to like really short. And ping pong, this one's ping pong. That bounces the signal to the left and the right, back and forth. And if you don't have that on, it's just stereo. So if you have a stereo signal getting sent in here, the echo's in stereo. I think that just about covers it. I made this to be just something that hopefully you just play around with and just get a nice sound out of. So I put this these are on one of the synths I'm working on, and it's the synth sounds good without them, but then as soon as you put these on, it's kind of addictive. You just can't, it's hard to not go overboard with the echo and stuff. So you can really hear how it kind of drifts a little bit and distorts a little bit, and there's quite a bit of randomness in it. So doesn't sound very static, I guess, and will make your recordings more dynamic. All right, so download it. I'll put the link in the description, and come back with your comments. Things that your experience, I guess. I'm at this point where I just kind of need to get some feedback to figure out if I'm going in the right direction with this stuff. And yeah, and I need to decide like what features I'm going to have before I like go into the whole graphic design and design the panel and everything. So this is just a placeholder. Yeah, enjoy. Yeah, I'm thinking about maybe making it so you can adjust the amount of sort of drift and randomness, like how much wow and stuff on the tape. But at the same time, like I said, I want to make it just plug and play. Just set the basics and it does what you want, and you don't have to think too much about it. And yeah, I'm sure. I noticed when I was recording the demos, I was getting a weird distortion that I didn't expect. So I'm going to have to look into what was causing that. But yeah, if you notice anything weird that doesn't sound right, definitely let me know. And if you can record a sample of it and tell me what settings you were using, that's super helpful. All right. That's it for now. And I look forward to releasing the synths I'm working on, or at least showing you guys. I'm making a lot of progress. I posted a few videos of the synths, my first synths, and while those were pretty good, I don't know, you learn more each time you do it. And so the one I'm working on right now, I'm like super excited about, and it'll be ready soon. All right, bye.